Dude, flying is so cool, and the view from up here is... Uh-oh. You saw nothing? I am the talent? It's time to play Minecraft. Welcome back to the Minecraft Slowrun Bedrock Edition. Here we are at our base where last episode we finished up these roads here connecting our two bridges. Love it. I really just love it. I want to talk about scale. I want to talk about mega builds. I really like this scale, right? You can really focus on details. Every block counts, every detail matters, and when it all comes together, it just looks great. Same with our bridge here. You know, it's a small bridge, but it really looks great. And it works with this scale too. The mangrove tree doesn't really work with this scale, but currently it's the home of Ollie Kuhn's parent, so we can't relocate it right now. Okay, but back on task. Mega builds. Last season, I did 4 massive builds, and it really burned me out. And here's what I learned. When you do a mega build project that's purely for decorative purposes, you end up just rushing it. You know, the scale is so big that you don't really have a chance to focus on the details that matter. And it's purely decoration. You never visit it. You never see it. So in the end, it's not really that satisfying. Something like this, though, where you're always around your base, then go crazy because every detail is going to bring you immense joy every single time. But sometimes you just need to go bigger. And I decided if I'm going to do a mega build, it's going to be something practical, something useful, something that I will visit every single day. So let's go for a little ride. Okay, and it's not that I'm against using the elytra. We just don't have a good source of rockets right now, so yeah, gonna stick with the horse. So on our road to the village, if we keep going this way, we'll reach the village. But if we make a right turn here and head up on top of this small plateau in the Sunflower Plains, yes. This pristine, as yet untouched landscape will soon be bustling with activity. This is where we're going to put our factory and our industrial district right here. I've got a few shulker boxes of materials here just to get us started. Just your basic stone, some andesite, some other junk. So now let's clear away some of this terrain so that we have some space to work with, and then I'll come back to explain the plan. The plan for our industrial district and getting started on the farms that we desperately need right now. Well, I think that qualifies as famous last words. This definitely broke a few shovels. And we've got quite a few holes here to patch up. And then I'll put a base layer here for us to work on. So, time to start patching these holes. Next time I say, oh, I'm just going to clear out a little terrain. Stop me, please, stop me. Okay, but we finally have our platform and the layout for our factory. This is where our industrial district is going to go. And I've outlined here, there are the chunk boundaries for 6 chunks that will be inside our factory. And the reason for having these chunk boundaries is that in Bedrock especially, and we are on sim distance 4, so we want to make sure that any farms that we build are not going to span chunk boundaries, and if they do, that they are redstone safe, meaning if these chunks are unloaded, we don't want our farms to get broken. What should we build first? I've given this a lot of thought, of course. I had a lot of time to think about this while I was digging all this out, so I've put some thought into it. And I think the 3 farms that we should build first, in this order: bamboo farm, moss farm, and dried kelp farm. The reason we need a bamboo farm first is that bamboo is so easy to farm, and it's one of the most versatile wood types in the game. Once you've got a bamboo farm, you turn those into planks, and then you can use those just like any other planks. You can make chests, you can make barrels, hoppers, pistons, smithing tables, sticks, bookshelves. I mean, whatever you want to make out of planks. So So bamboo farm is going to be our first. The next farm we need to build is a moss farm, which also doubles as a bone meal farm. Not only is moss a great building block, I use it a lot in landscaping, but you can also use that as a great source of bone meal, and that's another thing that we desperately need. Once we start farming flowers, we will definitely want to have a lot of bone meal on hand. And then finally, we'll need a fuel source, and while we do have access to a lot of coal, since spawn is in Stony Peaks and there's coal everywhere, we really want a renewable fuel source, and dried kelp is one of the best. Let's get started on our bamboo farm. Now, what type of farm should we build? I've also been giving that a lot of thought, and I've got a few ideas for you. So to show you what I'm thinking, let's hop over to a creative test world. Let's look at a few different ways that we can build bamboo farms, discuss the pros and cons, and try to come up with the design that works best for us. Bamboo grows very easily, and you don't really need much to make a farm out of it. This is the most simple way to get a bamboo farm going. You have a grass block, bamboo growing on it. You have a piston at height level 2, an observer pointing into redstone dust that will power the piston. So when this bamboo reaches 3 tall, it will trigger that observer and push the bamboo out. To collect this, there are a couple ways you could do it. You could have a collection area out in front with hoppers or water streams to collect the bamboo there. You could also have hopper mine carts going under the grass blocks, because sometimes, actually very often in this design, you will see bamboo landing directly on this block here. Now, if you want to automate this, you could replace this block with a dispenser filled with bone meal, have it running on a circuit so that it's constantly bone mealing this bamboo, and that will basically convert bone meal to bamboo 1-for-1. However, that's not really going to work well for us because we need bone meal just as badly as we need bamboo. So this is one option. This, again, will work on both Java and Bedrock. One of the good things about this is you can stack it vertically, and you can also stack it horizontally. The drawback to this is it's quite expensive. For each bamboo plant, you need 1 piston and 1 observer. That's a lot of materials to gather, especially early game. It's pretty expensive. Okay, another option involves flying machines. This is basically where you have a very large field where you plant bamboo in rows in a giant grid of bamboo plants. A slime block flying machine, one above here, that will periodically sweep through and collect your bamboo, and again, hopper mine carts under the grass blocks to collect it. So the advantage of this is that you can make that field very large, and bamboo will grow anywhere from 12 to 16 blocks in height. So when you do that initial harvest after letting it all grow, you get an absolute ton of bamboo. There are a few disadvantages of this though. Number one, as I've discovered, slime block flying machines are very flaky. They break down a lot. And when they do break, they're really annoying to repair. The other disadvantage is you can't really stack this. All right. You can let the bamboo grow as tall as you want, but then you're wasting a lot of space vertically that you could use horizontally. Now, in our factory, we could put this type of farm in there, but it's going to be pretty wasteful. It'll be basically the only thing that we could fit in there. We want to use as much vertical space as we possibly can. So next I want to turn to a new design that I saw by Slack Lizard. It's actually not that new. He's used it for a few years, but it's new to me and it's really interesting. And this actually works on Java as well as Bedrock. So these are built in modules of 3. And there's no observers here. There's no observers. All you have are pistons, a redstone torch, and redstone dust on the back of the block that the torch is on, which will then power all 3 of these pistons around it. Okay, you just saw it. If any of these 3 bamboo grow up to the top, it will trigger an update on that redstone torch, which will then trigger a burnout. So if we bone meal that one, you can see the torch going into burnout state. And again, this actually works on Java as well. So you could also have the same collection mechanism, hopper minecarts under here, or any water streams or hoppers down the center. And the great thing about this is they're in modules of 3, so you can extend it out horizontally as far as you want. You can also stack these vertically. They're only 4 tall, so you can get quite a lot of bamboo in one chunk area. So this is obviously a much bigger improvement to this design because you have absolutely no observers. However, you still have that piston, 1 piston per bamboo. That's still kind of expensive, so I'm wondering if we can do even better than that, because that is a lot of pistons to craft. And that brings us to another really cool bamboo farm design that I found from Foxy No Tail. I really love this design. This solves so many problems. We're using 1 sticky piston, and we're using slime blocks at the push limit of 12. So for 12 bamboo plants, you've got 12 slime blocks, but you've only got 1 observer and 1 sticky piston. It's the same height as this. It's 4 high, so you can stack these vertically. This is running on an etho hopper clock, which is a far more reliable way of sending a signal to all of these on a regular interval. So if we turn this on, the signal will just cascade up, push all of the bamboo out, and then down into these hoppers. And the sea lanterns are there to make sure there's enough light. Not strictly necessary, but you would have to find some other way. Bamboo will not grow unless the top of the plant has a light level of at least 9. So just remember that if you want to adapt this farm. The clock is also a great feature of this farm. It's very reliable. This is a standard etho hopper clock, and it will send the signal out here along this redstone line into this torch tower. And because the modules are 4 blocks tall, the torch tower works perfectly. You can stack this as many times as you need vertically. Now, one note, if you're interested in building this in Java, it can work, but not exactly like this. In Java, the redstone pulse from an observer will cause a sticky piston to lose the block that it's holding. The pulse is just too short. So to fix this, there is a way to fix this, but you would have to move this out a couple blocks, put the observer, say, back here, and then you would have, so we could have a block there. We would need a repeater to actually extend the signal, and so then you would have your torch tower out here, and that would work. And so in Java, you would need to do this to ensure that the piston keeps holding on to the slime blocks. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about that here in Bedrock. Bedrock Redstone for the win. And that's not something you hear every day. There will be a little loss involved. Sometimes bamboo will land on the grass blocks and there's no real way to get it. Again, we could use hopper minecarts underneath the grass blocks to collect them, but then we would limit our height. So our strategy here is accept that there will be a little bit of loss, and we're going to make up for it in volume. So thanks again to Slack Lizard and Foxy No Tail. I've learned a ton from watching their Bedrock videos. Check them out. They are definitely worth it. So now let's get ready to build this farm. We'll head back into the slow run. We're back and we're ready to start building our farm. The materials that we're going to need. We don't need a lot of redstone, actually. So I think we're covered there. I might need to go to the Nether to get some quartz, but not that much. It won't be too hard. What else? So we'll need grass blocks, of course, to plant the bamboo. And we're going to need to start with some bamboo. Then we're also going to need a lot of leaves. So we've got our leaves here all ready to go. We're also going to need a lot of slime blocks for this farm. So let me show you a clip from a few days ago where I discovered something really awesome. So we're back here at the trading hall. We're going to test something that I saw in a video by Slack Lizard. Thankfully, a wandering trader sold me some slime balls that enabled me to get to a slime block. And we've got 64 armor stands here, and we're going to see if we can use a new mechanic to basically turn these armor stands into more slime blocks. Awkward potion, and now we're going to put our slime block in there. And this will bring up a curious new potion called the Potion of Oozing. There we go. We have a splash potion of oozing. So we're going to drop down a stack of armor stands. There's a stack of armor stands. We're going to hit it with the Potion of Oozing first. And then I don't know how many of these I will need. But if all goes according to plan, when the armor stands are destroyed by the Potion of Instant Damage, they'll turn into slimes, and then the slimes will get broken down by the magma blocks. In theory, that's what should happen right now. So first we throw the Potion of Oozing. Now that and that. There we go. And I'm gonna die. Okay. Let's see, what did we get out of that? 48. We got 48 slime blocks from starting with one slime block and a stack of armor stands. Thank you, Slack Lizard. Whoa, the horse, buddy, watch out, man. Here, have a carrot. Now remember, bamboo needs a lot of light, and in the design, I'm using sea lanterns, and that's what I want to use here to build the farm. And for that, I'm gonna have to show you something really awesome. Let's go for a little boat ride. Are you ready for this? While I was busy building the shulker farm, Dino was out here converting this ocean monument into a guardian farm. This is absolutely awesome. Now let me show you how it works. So we've got some Impaling 3 tridents in here, and there are 4 modules. We'll throw the tridents in each one. There we go. Then we turn on the farm here. Up we go with a Looting 3 sword. AFK right here. And now all 4 of these are spawning guardians and immediately dispatching them using the trident killers. And the design is by Silent Whisperer. Another link in the description for this farm because it is absolutely amazing. Definitely check it out. Silent has a ton of farms for Bedrock on his channel. So now I'm going to be able to repair the tools that I used to dig out the platform for the factory. And meanwhile, we'll be collecting enough of the prismarine shards and crystals to make our sea lanterns. I will catch you on the flip side. There we go. We've got our sea lanterns there. Let's grab some slime blocks. We've got our leaves. We'll grab some redstone components here. Our pistons. We'll need an observer. Let's see. So we'll get some bamboo, of course. And I've been smelting up some glass over here, but I would rather use the white stained glass that we've got from bone meal. And let's go. I think that has we got everything we need. We're gonna start over here in the 3rd chunk. Okay, so let's get moving now to set this up. We need 12 grass blocks, and we need a little space for our hopper clock and the observers. So I believe if we come out 1, 2, 3, 4 from the end, and then 1, 2, 3, our hoppers will go there. Our grass blocks will go here. And then our sea lanterns will be behind the 12. And then, yeah, the hoppers and the chest right in there. It should work. This should actually be super easy to build. Yeah, famous last words, right? So hoppers, and we'll just get some chests going here. And the hoppers in there. The next thing we'll need are leaves. And now our slime blocks. I love that sound. All right, now we're gonna need some more leaves up there. Ah, the joy of building with slime blocks. All right, there's our leaves, so nothing is going to stick on those. Now we want a sticky piston here. Right, so actually, let's just remove that for now. Get our sticky piston pointing in there. Boom, and then an observer we want facing, I didn't need that, but it's fine. I need to get up here like this. Wrong way. There we go. So, and then let's replace that. So if we pop a torch in front, oh yeah, it has to be right there. Let's see, make sure we can get a good view here. If we put a torch in front of the observer, extends, retracts, awesome. No redstone is going to extend over the chunk boundaries. But one thing that I realized is that because of our factory, you know, I'm going to have walls around here and a roof. So, and I want to build 7 modules up. So we have to start on the ground level here. That means in order to make room for the hopper clock, I will have to excavate this. But that's fine. That's fine. I think most of the fun action is going to be happening under the factory. You know, we'll just get some bamboo going right now. There we go, our 12 bamboo. Let's just build this up a little bit. All right, and then the next module up can begin right here with some more grass. That will need to be right up here. And yeah, now we just carry the whole thing up 6 more times and then put in the hopper clock. I'm not going to bore you with the details of building this. I think it's going to make sense since we saw it in creative, and I think you've got a pretty good idea how this is going to shape up. So now all the boring stuff, I got to just stack this up 6 more times. Oh, and actually, then I'm going to build another one right next to it because we don't want just 7 modules, we want 14. And because this is only 5 wide, we can put another one right here powered by the same hopper clock. All right, time to grind. So there we are. Our 14 modules of the bamboo farm. Looking good. Wait for it to trigger again. Ah, such a nice sight. All right. So I'm going to clean up the chests here so that we can start from scratch. And we'll do a 1-hour AFK test. Just keep walking. Just keep walking away. All right, our 1-hour AFK test is done. Let's take a look at what we've got. I'll move everything into one chest so we can count it all up. So we got 36 stacks and a little bit more. Well, I think this was an excellent way to get our industrial district started. Don't forget, I didn't actually design any of these farms, so please check out the links in the description. You know that old saying, I see further for standing on the shoulders of giants. That's true in science as it is in Minecraft. So check out those links. So now I've got to plan the other farms that we've got here. I'm going to let the bamboo stack up while I take a look at some moss farm designs and also some dried kelp farms. And there are a few more farms we're going to have to get up in here too. And of course, I actually want to start working on the factory itself. It's going to be a fun build. It's going to be a big one too, because it's going to have to cover up all these giant farms. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed our start to the Industrial District here on the Minecraft Slowrun Bedrock Edition. Have a great day. I am the talent. Today, we made history. And tomorrow, we're going to make magic.